So the PvP came with Fallout 76, and I know a lot of you were concerned about whether the PvP would be a problem for the game, if it would be a stunt, you know, if it would make your solo experience completely tarnished by the ability of other players griefing and just being a general nuisance. But I'm guessing, I'm kind of glad I'm making this video as of now, because God only knows what Todd Howard and his bunch of Bethesda Game Studios buddies will do to this game in the future. But with all the backlash this game has been getting from multiple things, I know one of them was PvP. Now, I can't speak for the NPC problem and a bunch of other things. That's just personal opinion and, you know, history with the game and stuff. And I love single player experiences. I love the Elder Scrolls and Fallout world, and I love NPCs, but that's for a different video. This one is specifically me telling you my PvP experience in Fallout 76, and if it really exists, I guess. I can't tell off of 4 damn hours of gameplay, and I'm only going to get to play it for 4 more hours this week on Saturday and Sunday, if I'm not completely invoked and stuck inside the world of Red Dead 2, but you know, we'll see. But so I was playing the game. I played it from 11:30 when it came out, half an hour early, all the way until the server shut down. It's in the gameplay here. I streamed the first 3 hours of it, and I recorded the last hour and a half of it, and I got to experience a chunk of the game. I got to around level 8, level 9. I explored a bunch of places. I got to get myself involved in the supply drop mechanics. I got myself fighting a bunch of different leveled enemies. I went to a high leveled place where I fought a level 23 Scorcher for a supply drop. I got to do a lot basically, and I met a lot of players. You can see each other on the map. You can always see where players are on the map. There's no way to turn that off for now anyway, that I know. And I encountered a lot of players who were level 6 and level 7. The level 5 and above basically later into the game in the beta, a good 2 hours in, because it's pretty easy to get a level 5 if you just follow the main quest. And I encountered PvP a total of 3 times. The first time was I decided to just randomly shoot a guy who was just standing in the middle of the road not moving. I might have the gameplay on screen if I can find it in the big load of gameplay, and I'll show it to you here. I shot at him. It did exactly as Bethesda said it would. It did basically no damage. I could eventually kill him if I wanted to, but before I was able to even hit the half point, he fast traveled out of the location. So that didn't happen at all. So he didn't want to fight. So it's good that you don't have to get involved in it. So that's, you know, that's one thing. You don't have to get involved in it. You can just leave and go somewhere else. They could follow you because they could see you on the map, but who has the time to do that? I know people do, and I don't want to test them, but you know what I mean. The second instance was I attacked a player who was walking by, and they responded, and so we had a PvP battle, and we went back and forth for the guts of, I'd say, about 15 minutes. I didn't pick ignore. I kept picking revenge, and I assume he did as well, because we kept coming back and fighting each other. And at one point, someone else got involved, but I noticed this. I thought it was a dueling kind of system, but it turns out that anyone can get involved in PvP, I think, because I was fighting this guy, and then some random player just shot me in the back and killed me, and I didn't attack them. So it must be once you're engaged in PvP, anybody can join the PvP experience. So I don't know how I feel about that, because getting shot in the back for no good reason is kind of sucky, but what can you do? You know, that's life. Then the last time I got involved was I went after someone who was wanted on the map, and I was the only one who was as well. Like, there was a good 20 players active at the time. A lot of them were offline, and I went up against this dude. He was wanted because he was obviously attacking a bunch of players, and I killed him, and it went peaceful, and I got no junk from him. It wouldn't let me take it, and that was my PvP experience. I kind of got bored of it then, and I decided to go off and just do more of the main quest and stuff. So I just don't really think PvP is a thing that's suiting this game to the extent they thought it would. Like, when this game was first shown, the very first bit of gameplay they showed for Fallout 76 was a guy running up behind a bus with his machine gun, and he started attacking the player, and he killed him. Remember, he goes up to him then and shoots him in the head. I don't know why they showed this gameplay, because PvP isn't the focus of this game at all. And it might have just been my personal experience with the first 4 hours I got to play of the game. I did only get 4 hours, but I encountered enough players, I think, to get a good idea of whether it worked or not. And it just wasn't a thing people were getting involved in. People were doing events, they were doing quests, they were listening to tapes, they were just running around, just playing the game. They didn't really care about fighting each other. There was very, very, very few instances, if any, that I came across of people actually fighting each other, bar the few I got involved in. So I think people were having more fun with the PvE, but then again, most Fallout fans are accustomed and suited to a single player experience. So I really am not surprised. I did expect it to be a lot worse than everybody. Like, everybody was making PvP out to be the worst thing ever, but I guess I'm kind of happy to be here to tell you that it's not. That's actually not that bad. It didn't in any way get in my... I was actually waiting for it. I got involved in the fight. That was on me, because I was just like, come on, like, somebody, like... So, you know, if you want to go off and be a douche and just attack players, you can do it, but it's actually just gonna make you look like a big douche, because everybody's just trying to play the game. So this isn't the same kind of atmosphere Rust or Ark or Conan Exiles had. The atmosphere is very different. It's more like you'll be shunned for attacking people, because it's so plainly open there. And I think that's really cool that Bethesda have kind of done that, because it's kind of going to separate the griefers pretty heavily. So bar you have a giant team of griefers, and you have them teams of people who like to invade servers and be pure and utter douchebags of the highest order, it's just not a problem. And it's not something I think is worth complaining over, because from my experience with the game, PvP, it just didn't really exist in it. Bar when I got involved, it wasn't something the players cared about. I was in 3 different worlds. I left 3 times to I checked the player list, they were always different, and it was just no. That when I did engage players, they wanted to be friends and talk. Like, we would always put our guns away. Like, we would be face to face, and this guy pointed a gun at me and then put it away and then waved. Like, he could have just attacked me, but he chose not to, because I don't think he wanted to, because yeah. So if you do decide to attack players, have fun looking like the biggest douche in the world. Unless this, for some really weird reason, changes. I don't think it will. I hope it doesn't. I did like it and enjoy it for the time I got with it. It didn't stunt my experience with the game at all. It didn't. The PvP was not something that was a barricade. It wasn't in the way. Like everybody predicted. Everybody predicted it would be the worst damn thing that ever happened to the game. It was like, oh my god, other players are going to ruin this on me. But I think a lot of people forget, before this game gets normalized, I think the biggest thing that could be a problem for this game is it gets normalized, and a lot of people get it who aren't part of the Fallout fan base, who might be part of the Rust online base, the Ark, the online survival in general, DayZ, Scum, even GTA's online base, you know, where the actual griefers and killing is focused. But it's obviously not a focus here. It isn't. Like, anytime I came across someone, we worked together and we killed. We weren't even part of a team. Like, I was on a team twice. Well, the first random player I met, I became team with, then our viewer or two on stream joined me. But that's it. Like, it was never about attacking. It truly was. I guess we became the NPCs. And I think what Bethesda wanted to happen was exactly what happened in that first 4 hours of beta. Now, I don't know how the stress tests went. I watched a bunch of the raw gameplay of the other YouTubers that they did, and I didn't really see much PvP, if any at all. I don't even remember. I think that was the first time I actually seen PvP since E3, was me getting involved. And it was by my choice. I decided to be a douchebag and ruin someone's goddamn day and take their junk. So if you want some free junk, it's not even that rewarding. That's the thing. You get a couple of caps, but you can just find cap stashes and sell a bunch of stuff to vendors and stuff. Like, it's not worth it at all. So, you know, if you're worried, don't be. There's nothing to worry about. Yeah, it just didn't get in the way like people predicted it did, and I think as a Fallout game, it still remains the same atmosphere. The music was perfect, everything it had, the mechanics, it worked exactly the same. The only thing that's missing is NPCs. You always feel like you're going to turn a corner and find one, but they're not there. And that's, yeah, so don't worry. People are not going to get in your way. They're not going to be douchebags, unless you decide to be a douchebag. And PvP was quite lackluster, if I'm going to be really honest with myself and with you. It was really lackluster. And maybe Bethesda Game Studios will change it in the future with a bunch of updates. They might do stuff to it. They might not make it so it's as pacifying, like you don't have to get involved. They might make it that you have to get involved. They might change up some stuff. I think at this point, if they were to do that, it would damage the game even more than the marketing campaign has done itself. I hope they don't. I like the way it is now. I like that it really is a choice. It's not I have to do this, because if they change it to a thing where you have to do it, that is going to annoy a lot of players, including myself, and I hope that doesn't become part of the game's future. But play the game. Don't expect people to come at you. Unless you want to go and get involved in it, you can. It's kind of more playful activity to get involved in. So no, for me, PvP in Fallout 76 isn't actually that bad.